Hey, what's going on? Today we're going to be going over 5 quick tips on how to start your very first photography business and a little bit of background about myself. I am a photo and video content creator here in Los Angeles, and I've been here for about 3 years. So this all came about, I posted on my Instagram story kind of asking you guys what you wanted to know from me because I have a lot more free time on my hands right now. So one of them came in and I thought it was worth doing a little informal vlog, YouTube video, what have you. The question was, do you have advice on some first steps to building your photography business? And I do, because that's exactly what I've been doing for the past 3 years. So tip number 1 is going to be your portfolio development. And I would take that even a step further and say that you need to be extremely intentional with your portfolio. So if you want to shoot for, let's say, National Geographic, but you have a ton of portraits that are indoors or street fashion wear or e-commerce type shots, you're probably not going to get that job with Nat Geo. So the first step is knowing exactly what client you're going after and develop a portfolio of work that your client would be interested in. So that kind of means knowing what niche you want to shoot in, what your ideal niche is, find brands that kind of correlate to that niche, study their work, and try to recreate it in your own way. But the bottom line is you have to approach that client with a body of work that they would want to invest money in, because this isn't just, hey, we love your style, can you create for us? When you're starting out, that's not really the level you're going to be on. The brand is investing their time and money into the project because they think they're going to have a return on their investment. So tip number 2 is understanding how to monetize as a photo video entrepreneur. So if you are not like these YouTubers that you see with millions of viewers, that means you probably don't have a fan base that you can monetize, right? You don't have a lot of followers that you can sell to. So you have to understand the different ways to monetize. I'm sure you've seen people sell Lightroom presets, Photoshop elements, video editors create their own editing templates. That's one way, right? So there's digital products and all that, but you still need to learn how to push traffic and all of that. So what I would say is the best way to monetize is through getting clients, right? Brands are the ones with the money. Brands that think they can get a return on their investment will hire you because you bring quality to their brand and they use that content to promote sales and stuff like that. So I would say that's probably the entry level thing is try to work for companies that need advertisements done or website content. There's always going to be a need for that, and more companies are transitioning to the online space, and it's only growing. So creatives are especially needed in this niche. And don't get me wrong, you can still have your creative work on the side. You can totally do what you want to do that fulfills you, but there is always this balance of you walking the line between self-fulfillment and branded work that pays, right? Or any client that pays for that matter. So tip number 3, it's how do you get actually hired, right? So get hired, just go do it. One thing that I had to learn is, do you want more stability when it comes to income, or are you okay with freelancing and not really knowing when your next gig is going to come, right? So I know a lot of us in Los Angeles are gig-based, and you get hired on a project and you meet some people and you kind of hope that somewhere down the line they'll hire you for a next one, but after that gig ends, you're not actually sure where your next check is going to come from. So there are several different alternatives to this. You can get hired as a contractor for a company. So what that means is basically you can do a certain amount of work for them throughout a certain period of time. So for example, when I first got out here, I was a contract video editor, and they would give me a day rate, and I would basically come in 3 to 4 days a week for that day rate. And it was pretty consistent, and the actual consultancy group gave me benefits and all that stuff. And then when I transitioned from that job, I also went to another contractor role. So it's pretty typical in the entertainment space and creative space to be hired as a contractor. I got to have a consistent paycheck, and also I would have a little bit more time on the side to pursue things that I wanted to do. So there's full-time freelancing, there's contracting, or I know a lot of creatives that actually just get full-time jobs and work on their creative projects on the side. However, I've learned the hard way, if you dedicate a lot of time to something that takes a lot of your brain power, it is kind of hard to focus outside of that. So how do you actually get hired? Of course, there's applying to normal job posts, and you know a ton of them. So we're talking Indeed, Glassdoor, Mandy.com for production stuff, any sort of freelancer website, Fiverr, all that stuff. There's a percentage of people that get jobs off of those, but there are a ton of applicants, and it's really hard for companies to choose you out of such a great, vast pool of applicants. So what I would actually recommend is filling out opportunities in a direct and personal way. So now, of course, we live in a digital world, and you can connect with anyone, find anyone's information basically online. So if you have a dream job, let's say it's at a digital advertising agency, and you love what they do, right? The most professional way I would say is LinkedIn, and you can always connect with people and message them if you see a certain company that you want to work with in the future. On top of that, I've gotten countless opportunities by building a personal brand on Instagram and having that to kind of back me up when I go to DM people. In the freelance world, there's a lot of just, hey, I'm looking for a PA. Hey, I'm looking for a camera assistant. Hey, does anyone know a DP going out on Instagram? So if you're connecting with the right people and they know you're around and you have the work to kind of back that up, you can definitely reach out to them and see if they have any opportunities. You might have to take that, hey, I'll work for free, but then you do a good job. They understand that you're down to create and you're down to help, and they'll call you back. So yeah, 21st century, we have all these digital connections, and take advantage of it. So tip number 4 is personalized email outreach. So this actually goes back to how I first broke into the music video industry. Is I really wanted to get into music video stuff, and I just didn't have the work under my belt. So what did I do? I basically followed this artist's YouTube channel, and I started scraping all of his videos from his kind of documentaries that his videographer on tour posted on YouTube. And I was trying to get a job as a video editor, and I wanted to demonstrate that I could bring this label value. So what I did was take all the basic footage and I compiled it into this kind of finessed sizzle reel for the artist that I wanted to work for. And so I went to the label's website, and I found who the manager was, and I found his email address. And I basically wrote an email and said that, hey, I am a video producer in California. I'm already here. I'm looking to break into the music industry, and I'm looking to build my portfolio of work. And just to prove that I can bring value to you, I've created this edit montage that essentially demonstrates my abilities in post-production. So surprisingly, a couple days pass, and he reaches back out to me, hey, love the video, let me pass it on to the artist. And it just so happens that the artist didn't actually need a videographer or an editor at the time. It was already filled. However, the same label has multiple different artists. And so the guy reached out and said, hey, he's actually good, but we have another artist if you want to start creating for him. And that was kind of the first step in developing my music portfolio. So if there is something particular that you want, you have to kind of like create the opportunity. You know, it's not going to just come to you because you have awesome work. Not until you're in like a really tight-knit group that, you know, like you're the go-to guy. If you're still trying to break into something, that you just definitely need to approach with value, right? And if your dream job isn't there, try to create it. All right, and tip number 5, lastly, is surrounding yourself with the right people. So this means going to the meetups, right? This is going to the workshop courses, right? This is going to the Facebook groups that your community talks with, and watching the YouTube videos and trying to connect with like-minded creators, right? So you have to completely surround yourself with the people that you want to surround yourself with. A couple months back, I went to a music video director's little workshop thing, and it wasn't necessarily what I learned at that workshop. It was the people that I met that were in my same area and what value they had down the road. So constantly I'm connecting with people on Instagram, but when you put yourself face to face and meet these people and they see you in real life, that's definitely a differentiator. So there's always that cliche saying of it's who you know, but it's more of, you know, who can you bring value to, and how can you make them remember that you're, you know, you're available. So I hope that helps. This was just kind of an informal little vlog thing where I just start spitting out stuff to the camera. And as always, connect with me on Instagram, leave a comment. I'm down to collaborate and all that jazz. So thank you for watching and have a great day. Happy quarantine.